De toute façon, il va marquer l'histoire et je pense qu'il va dépasser tout le monde, même s'il faut respecter, tu l'as dit, enfin, il faut respecter tous ces joueurs et je pense que lui c'est ce qu'il fait. Il respecte tout le monde, c'est ce qui est beau d'ailleurs. Mais je pense qu'il va en le regardant, qu'il va certainement dépasser.
100%, that's coming and probably will go up to 64 teams at one point as well. But what Kylian Mbappé is doing right now, he is probably going to end up the world's greatest international player. Yes, Pelé is that guy right now. Yes, Lionel Messi, the greatest talent of all time. And I do love the fact that Leo Messi won that World Cup last time out. Yeah. Pele's won 3 of them. Kylian Mbappé, in his first World Cup as a teenager, won that World Cup. In his second World Cup, made it to a final, scored a hat-trick in the final and lost it. And he's most likely going back to, yet again, another World Cup final. And Witty, how old is he? 27, so he's probably got 2 more World Cups to look forward to. This guy, if we actually break it down, Cello, this guy could end up with 30-plus World Cup goals.
Zinedine Zidane did not fall in love with Kylian Mbappé because of his speed, his goals, or even his talent. He saw something far more dangerous. At 27, Mbappé already has 20 World Cup goals in 20 matches, 4 goals in World Cup finals, 12 in the knockout stages, and sits just 1 behind Lionel Messi's all-time record. He has won the tournament as a teenager, scored a hat-trick in a World Cup final and still lost, then returned 4 years later as France captain and responded to a missed penalty against Morocco by scoring the breakthrough goal that put France on course for another World Cup semi-final. But none of those numbers fully explain why Zidane said he loved him first as a person, years before Mbappé joined Real Madrid, became France's all-time leading scorer, and began chasing football's greatest international records. Because the real story is not how fast Mbappé runs, it is why failure never seems to slow him down. This is how Zidane recognized the mentality behind a future World Cup phenomenon before the rest of football understood what it was watching, and why Kylian Mbappé may now be building the greatest World Cup legacy the game has ever seen.
20 World Cup goals in 20 matches. Mbappé is 27. This is only his 3rd World Cup and he's 1 goal off Messi's all-time record of 21. Klausi needed 4 tournaments and 24 games to get to 16. Ronaldo Nazario finished on 15, Müller 14, Pelé 12, Mbappé 20 in 20, a goal a game. Zidane saw this coming before any of us did. Mbappé's an 18-year-old at Monaco, not yet France's captain, not yet anyone's record holder. Everyone noticed the speed. Level with a defender 1 second, gone the next. Fair enough. But the speed wasn't the point. He knew when to run. Threaten the space behind, drag the defender back, check inside, go again the moment the passer looks up. You can match his starting position perfectly and still lose him. 15 goals in 29 games as Monaco won the league and ended PSG's 4-year run. 6 in 9 Champions League games too, scoring against City, Dortmund and Juventus. First player to beat Juve in that entire campaign, with Chiellini, Bonucci and Buffon all in the way. Everyone saw the talent. Zidane saw the personality, his actual word for an 18-year-old. At that level, personality means staying decisive when the game gets uncomfortable, attacking the same defender again after he's already stopped you once. Mbappé already had it. No hesitation, no rushed finishes, real patience in his movement before the ball even arrived. March 2019, back managing Real Madrid, Zidane's asked about him again. Diplomatic answer, happy to coach a player like that, not the time to discuss it. Sounds like nothing. Except this is a man who'd coached Ronaldo, Benzema, Modric, Kroos, Ramos, Marcelo. He knew exactly what Madrid demands, technically and mentally. By then, Mbappé had already won a World Cup. Zidane wasn't hyping a prospect anymore. Then November 2019, Madrid hosting PSG, and the line everyone remembers: known him a long time, been fond of him a long time, as a person first. Then a nod to the childhood trial at the Bernabeu, and a reminder he's the opponent now. The real detail isn't the word love, it's as a person first. Talent is easy to scout. What's hard to predict is how a kid handles what comes after: money, fame, a country's expectations. Zidane knew him before any of that. The boy had trialled at Madrid, grew up with Ronaldo posters on his wall, and Zidane was part of the club at the time. That relationship existed years before the transfer sagas did, which is why 2024 landed the way it did. Mbappé finally signing for Madrid on free, 5 years, walking into the building he'd once visited as a kid, where Zidane had been talking him up the whole time. But the real proof isn't the transfer. It's the World Cup. 2018, Russia, 19 years old. France built around him as the release valve. Win it back and he's already sprinting the diagonal behind the left back, stretching the defense whether he touches it or not. Against Argentina in the last 16, won a penalty by carrying the ball from his own half, and then scored twice in a 4-3 win. First teenager since Pelé in '58 to score twice in a World Cup match. 4 goals for the tournament. Struck the winner adjacent goal in the final too. Second teenager ever after Pelé to score in a men's final. France won 4-2. World champion before
2022, Qatar. Different job now. France built to spring him instead of pair him. 2 against Denmark, 2 against Poland, 2 in the final, plus an extra time penalty for the hat-trick. 8 goals, golden boot. And that final, Argentina up 2-0 for nearly 80 minutes, France going nowhere, then Mbappé scores a penalty and a first-time volley off a Thuram layoff in 95 seconds flat. Messi restores the lead in extra time. Mbappé answers with another penalty, first World Cup final hat-trick since Jeff Hurlest in 1966. Scores the opener in the shootout too. France still lose, doesn't matter. 4 goals across 2 finals now, nobody scored more. 2026, captain. 12 World Cup goals walking in, 20 walking out after 6 games. Brace versus Senegal, passes Giroud as France's all-time top scorer, passes Fontaine's national World Cup record. Brace versus Iraq, 100th cap, level with Close on 16. Brace versus Sweden, 18 goals, outright record for World Cup knockout goals. 10 and counting, more than anyone ever. Paraguay sit deep, nothing given centrally, and this is the growth. Peak the explosion Mbappé needed space already open. This version just waits. Doué wins a penalty, Mbappé scores it 1-0. 19. 20 comes against Morocco. Early penalty saved by Bonu. Doesn't change a thing about how he plays the rest of the match, keeps hunting the same pockets, curls one in from the left in the 60th minute anyway. Dembélé doubles it 6 minutes later. 2-0, 21 shots to 4, third straight semi-final. Level with Messi on 8 tournament goals, still one behind him all time. Messi's on 21 in 31 games, Mbappé's on 20 in 20. That gap in games played is the whole story. Closer, 16 in 24, Ronaldo 15 in 19, Müller 14 in 13, Fontaine 13 in 6. Still the best single tournament haul ever. Pelé 12 in 14. A goal a game across 3 tournaments, not padded in dead group games either. 4 goals across 2 finals, braces against Argentina, Denmark, Poland, Senegal, Iraq, Sweden, plus the hat-trick. Yes, the bigger 2026 format gives top teams an extra match, fair to mention, but he already had 12 goals in 14 games before the expansion. A better haul at 23 than Pelé, Henry, both Ronaldos and Maradona had at the same age. The format didn't build this, it just gave an already ridiculous trajectory a couple more matches. Why does the World Cup suit him this much? International teams don't have club level time to drill a press, units are less rehearsed, games stretch late, and that rewards someone who reads space fast and gets there first. He doesn't need to beat 4 players, one run drags the whole line, and he's sharp
sharper now, not softer. Quiet for 20 minutes, occupy a centre-back, drift left, go the second it opens. That patience makes the pace scarier, not less. None of this is a longevity story. He's not padding a number across 6 tournaments into his 30s. He's here at 27, a goal a game. Even Messi needed way more matches to get to 21, so it's not is he one of the best of his generation anymore, settled. The real question is where this World Cup career sits in the sport's whole history. Pelé won 3, Maradona had arguably the greatest individual tournament ever in '86, Ronaldo scored 8 and won it in 2002, Messi finally got his in 2022 on longevity and craft. Mbappe's case is its own thing, a scoring rate nobody's touched, 4 goals across 2 finals, relentless knockout production and possibly more tournaments still to come. Which brings it back to Zidane. Everyone saw the talent by the end of that Monaco season. What he saw earlier was the personality behind it, the thing that keeps a player putting himself in the biggest moments over and over without flinching. The kid who went at Juventus without blinking became the teenager who scored in a World Cup final. The player Zidane said he'd be happy to coach became the one who scored a hat-trick in the next one. The boy who once trialled at the Real Madrid walked back in as France's captain, already a world champion, 1 goal off the biggest scoring record the tournament has ever had. Maybe Zidane wasn't predicting greatness back in 2017. Maybe he just saw it was already inevitable.
The 20 goals explain what Mbappe's done. His response to missing explains how he keeps doing it. Morocco quarter-final, still goalless. Mbappé steps up for a penalty. Banu reads it, saves it. Huge lift for Morocco. Not a small miss either. Captain, joint top scorer, 1 goal off 20. Every camera waiting to see if it rattles him. It didn't. Kept demanding the ball, kept drifting left to attack the gap between Hakimi and the centre-back. 60th minute, it cracks. Curls one past Banu. Dembele doubles it 6 minutes later. 2-0, third straight semi, 21 shots to 4. Most players change after a miss. He doesn't. That's the rare part. Remember enough to fix it. Forget enough to still pull the trigger. That trait is exactly why Deschamps handed him the armband in March 2023 after Lloris retired. A debated call at the time, given Griezmann's seniority and the noise still following Mbappé out of PSG. Easy story to write, individualist, bigger than the team. Deschamps has shut that down all tournament, says the outside image doesn't match the dressing room, called him exemplary after Morocco. Fair, Deschamps isn't judging off TV, he's in the sessions, sees who sets the tone after a bad result. He also judges Mbappe's defending differently than a midfielder's. Not about ground covered, about pressing at the right angle, cutting the pass into midfield, staying high enough that the opponent won't send both fullbacks forward. Trade-off either way. Balance, not science. Against Paraguay, deep 5-4-1, nothing to run into, he couldn't sprint his way out of it. He had to be patient. Doué won a penalty, Mbappé scored it. 1-0. Not his flashiest night, one of his most disciplined. The Deschamps bond has quietly become one of this tournament's stories. After beating Sweden 3-0, Mbappé sprinted straight at his manager mid-celebration, heavier than it looked since Deschamps had just buried his mother. Worth clearing up, that was Deschamps' loss, not Mbappe's. Mbappe's part was noticing what his coach had been through and pulling the group around him for it. Small moment, but it's why the captaincy sits on trust, not just tactics, which is also why this attack isn't one-man dependent. Elise, 5 assists through 4 games, one off Pelé's World Cup record from 1970. The partnership works because Mbappé threatens the space and Elise finds the pass that unlocks it. Bend a run between fullback and centre-back, the line retreats, Elise gets the right half space and his favourite left foot. Half the time Mbappé doesn't even touch the ball, the run alone opens the lane. Dembele's a different headache, no reliable body shape to read, comfortable either foot, either side. Teams tilt cover toward Mbappé, Dembele gets isolated instead. Exactly what happened against Morocco.
Mbappé breaks the deadlock, Morocco gamble to get back into it, gaps widen, Dembélé punishes it 6 minutes later. Barcola adds the final wrinkle, Happy holding width, running at people from deep, Mbappé tucks in, Barcola stretches the line, Mbappé drifts left, Barcola cuts inside. First 4 games, Mbappé, Dembélé, Elise and Barcola combined for 12 of France's first 13 goals. Shared production because defences have to account for Mbappé before the moves even started. Which is really what Zidane meant back in 2019, the personality, not just the player. Talent decides what you're capable of. Temperament decides whether you can keep producing it once fame, failure and expectation turn the room hostile. So Zidane wasn't just spotting a footballer back in 2017, he was spotting the one part scouts can't measure, the bit that shows up after the miss, not before the goal. That's the story so far. What happens next depends on how many more of these moments France can hand him.